The list. My daughter's name was on it. I found my husband's secret list. 47 women he paid over 6 years. Models from elite agencies. $2.8 million spent on his affairs. I was about to destroy him, but then I saw name number 48 on the newest list. My own daughter. My 18-year-old daughter. This is the story of how my husband's double life destroyed our family in the most unimaginable way, and how I made sure justice was served for every girl on that list. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I live in Manhattan with my husband Daniel, a hedge fund manager worth $500 million. We also have a daughter, Madison, 18 years old, and we hate each other. That sounds harsh, but it's true. Madison and I have been at war since she turned 13. Every single day, screaming matches, slammed doors, accusations, tears. You don't understand me. You're controlling. I can't wait to get away from you. I tried everything. Therapy, family counseling, gentle parenting, strict boundaries. Nothing worked. Madison was spoiled. I know that now. We gave her everything. Designer clothes, expensive private schools, a Mercedes for her 16th birthday, unlimited credit cards. And she hated us for it. You think money fixes everything, she'd scream. You don't actually care about me. You just want to control me with your money. Daniel was worse with her than I was. Barely home, always working. When he was home, he'd throw money at problems instead of actually parenting. Madison needs new laptop? Here's $5,000. Madison got suspended from school? I'll donate to the school, they'll forget about it. Madison crashed her car drunk? I'll buy her a new one and pay off the cops. I begged him to actually parent, to set boundaries, to spend time with her. Sarah, I'm building an empire, he'd say. I'm securing our family's financial future. Madison will understand when she's older. She didn't understand. She just grew more resentful. Madison's 18th birthday was February 15th, 2024. She'd been counting down to this day for 3 years. The day I'm finally free, she called it. We threw her a party, $50,000, rooftop venue. Her friends, designer dress, professional photographer. She barely spoke to us the entire night. The next morning, I woke up to find a note on the kitchen counter. Mom and Dad, I'm 18 now. Legal adult. I'm leaving. I'm going to build my own life without your money, your control, your fake love. Don't look for me. I'll be fine. Madison. Her room was half empty. Clothes gone, laptop gone, personal items gone. But she left behind the credit cards we gave her, cut in half, on her pillow. I was devastated. Daniel was furious. Let her go, he said coldly. She wants to play adult. Let her see how hard the real world is. She'll come crawling back in a week. She didn't come back in a week, or a month, or 3 months. I tried calling her, blocked, texting, read but not answered. I hired a private investigator just to make sure she was alive and safe. She was alive, living in a tiny studio apartment in Brooklyn, working at a coffee shop, barely making rent. The PI showed me photos. Madison looked exhausted. Thinner, no designer clothes, no Mercedes, taking the subway, eating ramen. I wanted to rush to her, help her, but every time I tried, she shut me out. Leave me alone, Mom. I'm finally free. So I did. I gave her space. I hoped she'd eventually forgive me for whatever I'd done wrong. I still don't fully understand. Daniel didn't seem to care at all. She made her choice, he'd say. I should have known then. A father who doesn't care about his own daughter. What kind of man is he? I was about to find out. June 3rd, 2024, 4 months after Madison left. Daniel was at the office, or so he said. He was always at the office. I was cleaning his home office, something he never let me do. But he was gone, and I needed to feel useful. His MacBook was on his desk, open, asleep. I touched the trackpad. It woke up. He hadn't logged out. I wasn't snooping, not intentionally, but the screen showed a Finder window. Files, documents. One folder name caught my eye. Client Database Backup 2024.xlsx. Client Database? For his hedge fund? I was curious. Daniel never talked about his work. I clicked it. Excel opened, and my world exploded. This wasn't a hedge fund client database. The list. Column headers. Name, agency, age, date, first met. Total paid, last contact rating, 1 to 10. Notes. Row after row of women's names. 47 rows. Names I didn't recognize. Young names. Instagram handle names. Model names. Ages. 19, 22, 24, 21, 23, 26, 20, 19, 25. Agencies. Elite Models Manhattan. Prestige NYC. Imperial Models. Celestial Agency. Total paid. $35,000. $67,000. $125,000. $42,000. I scrolled to the bottom. Column total, $2,847,000, $2.8 million. My husband spent $2.8 million on 47 women over 6 years. I couldn't breathe. I clicked on the notes column to expand it. The notes made me want to vomit. Available weekends, prefers cash, very discreet. Too clingy, only book for one-night arrangements. Perfect. No drama, no questions, always available. Stopped responding after she got engaged. Find replacement. 5 stars, would book again. He was rating them, like Yelp reviews, like they were products. I looked at the rating column. Most were 7s and 8s, a few 9s, 110. Anastasia L., 23, Elite Models Manhattan, $187,000 total. Rating, 10 out of 10. Notes, my favorite. See her monthly, knows exactly what I like. $187,000 on one woman. I spent 3 hours going through that file. I found more files, folders, agency contacts, phone numbers and email addresses for modeling agency owners and talent coordinators, payment records, bank transfers, crypto transactions, cash withdrawals, all coded to look like business expenses, private events, Excel sheets listing parties, yacht trips, weekend getaways. Each event had a guest list, men, and entertainment list, women. One folder was labeled Premium Arrangements. I opened it. My hands were shaking. PDF contracts. Actual signed contracts between Daniel and modeling agencies. Elite Companionship Services Agreement. Legal document. Elite Models, Manhattan, LLC, and Daniel Mitchell. Services provided. Escort and companionship services for private events, travel, and entertainment. Payment terms. $15,000 to $50,000 per arrangement, depending on duration and services requested. This wasn't just cheating. This was organized, professional, a business. Daniel was paying modeling agencies to provide escorts, and the agencies were marketing young models to rich men under the guise of modeling work. I found emails between Daniel and agency owners. Subject: New girl available. Daniel: We just signed a stunning 19-year-old from Ukraine. Fresh face, speaks limited English. Perfect for your Miami trip next week. $25,000 for the weekend. Interested? Daniel's reply: Send photos. If she's as good as you say, book her. I was going to be sick. But then I saw another folder, recent, created 2 days ago. Upcoming, Mediterranean cruise, June 10th to 24th. I opened it. Another Excel file. Confirmed participants. 2 lists. Gentlemen, 12 names. Daniel Mitchell. Robert K., CEO. Marcus W., investor. Thomas H., real estate. And 8 others I recognized. All millionaires, all married. Ladies, 12 names. Anastasia L., 23, Elite Models. Sophia K., 21, Prestige. Y.C. Isabella R., 24, Imperial Models. I scrolled down, name number 12. My heart stopped. Madison Mitchell, 18, Elite Models Manhattan. No. I read it again, and again. Madison Mitchell, 18 years old, Elite Models Manhattan, my daughter. My daughter was on my husband's escort list. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. This wasn't possible. This couldn't be real. Madison left us to be independent. She was working at a coffee shop, living in Brooklyn. Elite Models Manhattan. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and called the private investigator I'd hired months ago. Richard, I need you to tell me everything about Madison. Right now, everything. Mrs. Mitchell, I gave you my last report 2 weeks ago. She's still in Brooklyn. Is she working for a modeling agency? Silence. Richard, answer me. Yes, he said quietly. She signed with Elite Models Manhattan about 6 weeks ago. I didn't think it was relevant. Did you know what kind of agency that is? What? It's a modeling agency, legitimate. They represent girls for... It's a front for an escort service. Silence. Richard, I need you to find out everything about Elite Models Manhattan. Who owns it? How it operates? What they tell the girls? Everything. And I need it by tonight. Mrs. Mitchell, tonight. Richard called me back at 9 p.m. Sarah, sit down. I sat. Elite Models Manhattan is owned by a woman named Victoria Lang, 52 years old, connected to New York society. On the surface, it's a legitimate modeling agency. They book girls for runway shows, photo shoots, brand campaigns. And underneath? Underneath, they operate what they call VIP entertainment services. They recruit young models, usually 18 to 25, fresh to the city, desperate for work. They promise modeling opportunities, and they deliver it first. Real photo shoots, real gigs. But then what? Then they introduce the premium opportunities, private events, yacht parties, travel with high-profile clients. They market it as networking and career advancement. Some girls realize immediately what it really is and refuse. Others, they're young, naive, broke. They need the money, and Victoria Lang is very good at making it seem glamorous. Are the girls forced? Legally? No. They sign contracts. Everything appears consensual, but there's pressure, manipulation. If you don't take these opportunities, we'll drop you and you'll never work in this industry again. That kind of thing. And Madison? Richard hesitated. Madison signed with Elite 6 weeks ago. She did 2 legitimate modeling jobs. Then Victoria offered her a VIP opportunity. A Mediterranean cruise. 2 weeks. All expenses paid, plus $25,000. $25,000. My 18-year-old daughter, who'd been struggling to pay rent, working 12-hour shifts at a coffee shop. Of course she said yes. Does she know what she's actually signing up for? I don't think so. The way Victoria pitches it, it sounds like she'll be arm candy at parties. Dress nice, smile, entertain guests with conversation. The contract is vague enough to be legal, but clear enough to the men what they're actually paying for. Richard, does Madison know Daniel is one of the men on this cruise? No. The client names aren't disclosed to the girls until they're on location. For privacy and security? Oh my God. My husband booked my daughter as an escort, and neither of them knew. I called Daniel's phone. He didn't answer. At the office. Always at the office. I drove to his office, 53 stories up in a Manhattan skyscraper. I burst through his door. Daniel looked up, annoyed. Sarah, I'm in the middle. How could you? What are you? I threw my phone on his desk. Open to a photo of the list. Daniel's face went white. How could you? I repeated, my voice shaking. 47 women, $2.8 million, 6 years of lying. He stood up. Sarah, let me explain. Explain what? That you've been paying for escorts while I thought you were working late? That you've been running around with girls half your age while our daughter hated us because you were never home? It's not like that. It's exactly like that. Daniel closed his office door, panic in his eyes. Sarah, please, calm down. Yes, I made mistakes. But it's not what you think. These are just arrangements, business transactions. It didn't mean anything. $2.8 million didn't mean anything. I can explain everything. Just, please don't do anything rash. Think about our reputation. Think about Madison. He froze. What about Madison? I pulled up the Mediterranean cruise list on my phone, showed him. Name number 12. Daniel looked at the screen. His face went from white to gray. No. Yes. You booked our daughter for your sex cruise. Sarah, I didn't know. I just sent the agency a request for 12 girls. I didn't pick specific names. You didn't know because you don't know anything about your daughter. You don't know where she's living. You don't know she's desperate for money. You don't know she signed with a modeling agency because she's trying to survive. Daniel sat down heavily. Oh my God. The cruise is in 1 week, Daniel. 1 week until our 18-year-old daughter gets on a yacht with 12 millionaires who think they paid for escorts, including her own father. He put his head in his hands. For the first time in 18 years of marriage, I saw Daniel Mitchell cry. I didn't comfort him. He didn't deserve comfort. We have 1 week, I said coldly. 1 week to fix this. I'll cancel the cruise, Daniel said immediately. I'll pull out. Make up an excuse. No. He looked up. What? You're going to go on that cruise, and I'm going to destroy you. Sarah. Listen to me very carefully. You have been exploiting young women for 6 years. You've spent millions of dollars treating human beings like products. You've enabled an industry that preys on desperate girls. And you almost sent your own daughter into that nightmare. I didn't know. You should have known. I took a breath, steadied myself. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to contact Madison. I'm going to tell her the truth about elite models. I'm going to make sure she doesn't get on that yacht. Okay, but you are getting on that yacht. And I'm going to make sure every single detail of what happens there is documented. Every man, every girl, every transaction. Why? Because I'm going to expose all of it. The agencies, the men, the system. I'm going to burn it all down. Daniel stood up. Sarah, if you do that, you'll destroy me. My career, my reputation, everything. Good. You'll destroy yourself too. We're married. Community property. If I go down, I don't care. Our daughter was almost trafficked by her own father. Nothing else matters. I left Daniel's office and called Richard. I need you to do something for me. Something that might not be entirely legal. I'm listening. Elite Models Manhattan, Victoria Lang. I need everything on her. Financial records, client lists, contracts, communications, everything. That's going to require hacking. I don't care. Whatever it costs, whatever it takes. Sarah. These people almost put my daughter on a yacht with men who think they paid for sex. I don't care about legality anymore. I care about justice. Richard was quiet for a moment. I know someone, a digital forensics expert, former FBI. She specializes in sensitive retrievals. Hire her. Next, I called Madison. She didn't answer. Blocked number. I texted from a different phone. Madison, this is Mom. Please don't hang up. You're in danger. Elite Models is not what you think. Please call me. No response. I drove to her apartment in Brooklyn, knocked on the door. Madison, please. I know you hate me, but you need to listen. The door opened. Madison stood there, thinner than I remembered, exhausted, but stubborn as ever. What do you want, Mom? Can I come in? No. Madison, you signed with Elite Models Manhattan. So? It's none of your business. I'm an adult. I can make my own choices. Elite Models is an escort service. She laughed bitterly. Oh my God. You're so dramatic. It's a modeling agency. I've done photo shoots. I've walked in a show. It's legitimate. Did they offer you a Mediterranean cruise? 2 weeks? $25,000? Her face changed. How did you? Because your father is one of the men on that cruise. Madison went pale. What? Your father has been using Elite Models and agencies like it for 6 years. He pays for escorts, young women, girls your age. The cruise you're about to go on, it's not a modeling job. It's 12 wealthy men who paid for 12 young women to entertain them, and your father is one of those men. Madison shook her head. You're lying. You're trying to control me again. I have proof. I showed her my phone, the Excel file, the list, 47 names, ages, payments, ratings. Madison read it. Her hands started shaking. No? Name 48 is you, Madison. Your father booked you as an escort without knowing it was you. She dropped my phone, stared at me. Dad did this? Yes. He's been with all these women? Yes. Madison started crying, not angry tears, broken tears. I thought Elite Models was real. Victoria said it was a networking opportunity. She said important people would be there. She said it would launch my career. She lied. Madison looked up at me, devastated. Mom, I almost got on that yacht. I know, baby. For the first time in 5 years, Madison hugged me, and I held my daughter while she sobbed. Over the next 5 days, I worked with Richard and his FBI contact, a woman named Agent Sarah Chen. Agent Chen was with the FBI's Human Trafficking Division. Mrs. Mitchell, what you've uncovered could be the biggest elite prostitution ring we've investigated in a decade. If we can prove coercion, false pretenses, or trafficking of minors, we can bring down not just Elite Models, but the entire network. She showed me files the FBI had been building on Victoria Lang for 2 years. We've suspected for a while that Elite Models was operating as a front, but these agencies are smart. They keep everything just legal enough. The girls are 18 plus. They sign contracts. Technically, it's companionship services, not prostitution. Very hard to prosecute. What do you need to build a case? Evidence of coercion, false advertising, or clients who knew they were hiring prostitutes, internal communications, financial records, and ideally, testimony from the girls. I can get you all of that. Richard's hacker contact, a woman named Alexis, had successfully breached Elite Models servers. She retrieved client database, names of 83 men who'd used Elite Models VIP services over 5 years, financial records, $47 million in revenue from companionship arrangements, internal emails, communications between Victoria Lang and clients discussing specific girls, prices, services, contracts, the real contracts versus what the girls were shown, the master list, 156 young women who'd been funneled through the system. Some names on the master list were now famous. Actresses, influencers, models. They'd all started at Elite Models. Desperate, young, broke. Agent Chen set up a sting operation. The Mediterranean cruise is the perfect opportunity. We'll let it proceed, but we'll have undercover agents on board. We'll document everything, and when we have enough evidence, we'll shut it down. Will Madison be safe? Madison won't be going, but we'd like her help. Madison agreed to work with the FBI. She met with Agent Chen and gave a full statement about how Victoria Lang recruited her. She made it sound glamorous, Madison explained. She said I'd be networking with successful people, that connections made on trips like this could change my career. She never said the word escort, never mentioned sex. But looking back, the way she talked about keeping the clients happy, I should have known. You were 18 and desperate, Agent Chen said gently. That's exactly who they target. Madison also agreed to wear a wire for one final meeting with Victoria Lang, June 8, 2024. 2 days before the cruise. Madison went to Elite Model's office, recording device hidden in her necklace. Victoria greeted her warmly. Madison, are you excited for the cruise? I have some questions, Madison said. Of course, darling. What exactly am I expected to do on this trip? Victoria smiled. Just be yourself. Look beautiful. Engage in conversation. Make the clients feel special. Is there anything physical expected? Victoria's smile didn't waver. That's entirely up to you, sweetheart. We never force anything. But let's be honest. These men are paying a lot of money for your company. If you're smart, you'll make sure they feel their investment was worth it. So, sex? I didn't say that. But if you choose to develop a connection with one of the clients, that's your personal choice. And if that client happens to be very generous afterward, that's between you and him. How generous? Girls who make clients happy often receive tips. 10,000, 20,000, sometimes more. Think of it as a performance bonus. Madison leaned forward. Victoria, is this escorting? Victoria laughed. Escorting? No, darling, you're a model. This is a networking event. What consenting adults choose to do in their private time is not my concern. But you're taking a 30% cut of what the men pay. Victoria's smile finally faltered. Who told you that? I read the contract, the real one. The one you didn't show me when I signed. Victoria stood up. Madison, I think there's been a misunderstanding. The FBI doesn't think it's a misunderstanding. Victoria's face went white. At that moment, Agent Chen and 3 other agents entered the office. Victoria Lang, you're under arrest for human trafficking, money laundering, and facilitation of prostitution. June 10th, the day the Mediterranean cruise was supposed to depart. 12 wealthy men arrived at the Miami Marina, expecting to board a luxury yacht with 12 young women. Instead, they were greeted by FBI agents. Daniel was arrested on the dock. So was Robert K., CEO, Marcus W., investor, Thomas H., real estate developer, and 9 others, all charged with solicitation of prostitution, conspiracy, and in some cases, trafficking of persons. The media was there. Agent Chen had tipped them off. FBI busts millionaire sex cruise. 12 wealthy men arrested for soliciting escorts. Elite Models Manhattan exposed as prostitution ring. The photos of Daniel in handcuffs were on the front page of the New York Times. Over the next 2 months, the case expanded. Agent Chen's team interviewed 47 women from the list. 23 agreed to testify. Their stories were heartbreaking and infuriatingly similar. I was 19, fresh to New York, no money. They promised modeling work. The first few jobs were real. Then came the VIP opportunities. They made it sound like I'd just be attending parties. I didn't realize what it was until I was already there. I needed the money. My family was counting on me. I felt like I couldn't say no. I was ashamed, but I didn't know how to get out. Some girls had been trafficked to other cities, other countries, locked in contracts they couldn't break. One girl, just 18, had tried to leave. Victoria Lang threatened her. If you walk away, I'll make sure you never work anywhere. I have connections. I'll destroy you. Victoria Lang was charged with 34 counts of human trafficking, money laundering, and racketeering. Her trial was set for January 2025. She tried to claim she was just running a modeling agency and had no control over what adults chose to do. But the evidence was overwhelming. The contracts, the emails, Madison's recorded conversation, testimony from dozens of girls. In February 2025, Victoria Lang was convicted on all counts. She was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. Daniel's trial was separate. I filed for divorce 2 days after his arrest. My lawyer was the best in New York, and she was ruthless. Mr. Mitchell spent $2.8 million on escorts over 6 years. He operated as a client of a trafficking ring. He nearly booked his own daughter as a prostitute. Mrs. Mitchell is entitled to 100% of marital assets. Daniel's lawyers fought. They claimed I'd known about his affairs. I hadn't. They claimed I'd benefited from the lifestyle his money provided. Irrelevant. But the prenuptial agreement we'd signed had an infidelity clause. If either party committed adultery, the other was entitled to 80% of assets. Daniel had committed adultery 47 times. Documented, paid for, rated on a spreadsheet. The judge ruled in my favor. Final divorce settlement. $400 million in cash and assets, 80% of Daniel's wealth. Full custody of Madison. She was 18, but this was symbolic. Manhattan penthouse, Hampton Estate. Daniel required to pay $2.8 million in restitution to the 47 women on the list. Daniel was left with $100 million, still wealthy, but destroyed. His hedge fund dropped him. His investors fled. His reputation was obliterated. He's currently serving 8 years in federal prison for solicitation and conspiracy charges. Madison moved back home, not because she had to, because she wanted to. "Mom, I'm sorry," she said one night, both of us sitting on the couch. "I was so angry at you for so long. I thought you were controlling me, but you were just trying to protect me." "I didn't protect you well enough," I said. "I should have known what your father was doing. I should have—" "You didn't know. Neither of us did." We both cried. We held each other. And slowly, we started to heal. Madison enrolled in college, Columbia University, studying social work. "I want to help girls like me," she said. Girls who almost made a terrible mistake because they were desperate and naive. I was so proud of her. With the $400 million from the divorce settlement, I created the Sarah Madison Foundation. Our mission: support survivors of trafficking and exploitation in the modeling and entertainment industries. We provide legal assistance for girls trying to get out of exploitative contracts, financial support so they don't have to take dangerous jobs, therapy and counseling, job training and career placement in legitimate industries, safe housing. In our first year, we helped 127 young women, including 12 girls from Daniel's list who had nowhere else to turn. Madison works with the foundation now. She speaks at events. She shares her story. "I was one signature away from being trafficked," she tells audiences. "One yes away from being on that yacht. And if my mother hadn't found that list, I don't know what would have happened to me." Young girls cry when they hear her speak, because they see themselves in her story. Last month, I received a letter in the mail. It was from Anastasia L., the girl Daniel rated 10 out of 10. The one he spent $187,000 on over 3 years. The letter said, "Dear Mrs. Mitchell, you don't know me, but your husband knew me very well. I was one of the girls on his list. Number 7. I want you to know, I didn't want to do it. I was 20 years old, an immigrant from Russia, desperate to send money home to my sick mother. Elite models promised me a modeling career. Instead, I became an escort. Your husband was one of my regulars. I hated every moment, but I needed the money. When the FBI arrested him, when Victoria Lang went to prison, when your foundation was created, you saved my life. I'm 26 now. I'm in college. I'm studying to be a nurse. The foundation paid for my tuition. My mother is healthy. I'm free. Thank you for destroying the system that destroyed me. Anastasia." I read that letter 10 times, and I knew this was worth it. People ask me if I regret exposing Daniel. He's your husband, the father of your daughter. Didn't you love him? I did love him. Once. But the man I loved was a lie. The real Daniel Mitchell was a man who bought women like products, who rated them like items on Amazon, who spent millions on his own pleasure while his daughter hated him because he was never home. And worst of all, he almost trafficked his own daughter. Number 1. I don't regret exposing him. I learned something through this nightmare. Evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a successful businessman in a tailored suit. Sometimes it wears a Rolex and drives a Tesla. Sometimes it sits across from you at dinner and kisses you goodnight. Daniel wasn't Epstein. He wasn't running an island. He wasn't trafficking children. But he was part of a system that exploits young women, that preys on desperation, that treats human beings as commodities. And systems like that exist because men like Daniel pay for them. Madison said something to me last week that I'll never forget. "Mom, when I left home, I thought I was escaping you and Dad. I thought I was finally free. But I walked right into another trap. Because the world is full of people like Victoria Lang who see desperate girls and think, profit. But you got out," I said. "Only because you fought for me. Only because you found that list." She hugged me. "Thank you for not giving up on me. Even when I pushed you away." "I'll never give up on you," I whispered. "Never." Victoria Lang is in prison. Daniel is in prison. The 12 men from the cruise, 8 are in prison. 4 took plea deals and are on probation. Elite Models Manhattan is permanently shut down. 47 women from the list have been contacted by our foundation. 39 accepted help. And Madison? Madison is thriving, happy, safe. She still has nightmares sometimes about what could have happened on that yacht. But she's alive, she's free, and that's what matters. Actrisa Delight Pauzu Smotrit of Komaru. Name number 48 on that list was my daughter. If I hadn't found that file, if I hadn't looked at his computer that day, Madison would have gotten on that yacht, and I would have lost her forever. This story isn't just about a cheating husband. It's about an entire system that exploits young women. that uses modeling agencies as pipelines, that relies on desperate girls making desperate choices. And it's about a mother who refused to let her daughter become another statistic. If this story touched you, please share it. Hit subscribe. Because every Monday, I bring you stories of justice, survival, and families fighting back. Remember, evil hides in plain sight. Trust your instincts. Protect your daughters. See you tomorrow.